Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be reviewing some Tiberius gameplay. I'm a big fan of Tiberius. I think his combat transferability is really strong, which I'll completely fail to show throughout most of this video. To be honest, in this game I played like ass, but you know, you can't always be on top form, and sometimes if you can learn from my mistakes, then you can avoid making them yourselves. So you'll see right from the get-go, I'm just diving in there, getting stuck in, trying to burn tanks when there's still two healers on their team, and at this stage cauterizing them up, and you'll see I do this quite a lot. So trying to kill a tank while there's still a healer behind them, complete waste of time, but hey, at least it gets your damage numbers up right. So we're not really achieving very much, and you might have noticed our Ceres has already been killed. So we left the left flank open, and the Lex just came around and absolutely nailed him, and then rolled up our back line. Now, this is a really bad use of combat trance. So, as I mentioned, it's Tiberius' most important ability, and managing that cooldown is basically all you're trying to do. So when it's available, you can push hard and aggressive, and when it's not, you need to be really quite defensive and poke from the back line. And now I'm just in a weird position, so I'm between our team and them. I activate combat trance a bit early, but I do almost get this Drogoz down. It's literally one shot and I can't get the angle, and then a healer turns up and heals him to full. So I'm now 2-on-1 and should be absolutely legging it. No combat chance, but just get myself killed instead. Pro tip, don't take 2-on-1s, you die. So now they're in tunnel, and because main's clear, I push in to try and clear them out. But the dog is now being an absolute pain in the arse, so I have to fall back. Combat chance is down. As I say, managing that is key. But with the sword throw, I do get it back up, and then the fire spit hits me just the wrong time. Waste it again. Told you I was playing the gas this game. But this is the redeeming moment, right? So hit the Drogoz, he knocks me back, no luck, and pull a sword through it. Got to get some star points for that, right? So we're now holding this right hand side, and so we can cut into their back line and get a little bit over aggressive on this. Do get one of the healers, but there's no need, and then fortunately retreat with 100 health, but not far enough. So I should be getting back to the healer, but the Lex just comes around the corner and finishes me off. Sad times. And then after this wall drops, same thing, attacking tanks, but you can see they're back to full health already because of those healers spoiling them. Fortunately, they just run away from their healers into our team. Not quite sure what they're trying to achieve. And with that death, there's no one that can touch the point. So it's 1-1, feeling okay at this point. And I know the Lex is going to come around this left-hand side, so here's me sneakily waiting for him. And with combat trance on, this is a really one-sided fight. Run into his face to assert dominance. And again, I'm on the tank, trying to soften them up, but with the two healers there, it's just not working. Sword throw gets combat trance back up. For some reason I feel the need to drop down, and surprisingly enough get myself killed. So from this position, I could have shot the tank from the balcony, or better yet, gone round the left hand side, got directly on the healers, and attacked them from there. Fortunately, the rest of the team's doing a bit better at this point, and they managed to push them back, and the tank does expose himself to our team and get killed. So as trance comes back up, pushing on the left hand side, getting stuck into their back line, can't quite get the kills but do clear them off the point and manage to finish that one off, but just don't fall back far enough again. The Lex was really good on their team, to be fair, by far their best person, so I don't feel too bad losing to him, but while I'm down they do manage to cap and most of our team is dead, so we regroup on this point. Choke seems alright hold, so I go on this side. Now what I should be doing is just holding this building, but as is probably becoming boringly repetitive at this stage, I expose myself to their whole team and die. You may notice at this moment that I'm actually running the Vicious Assault talent, which I know is a bit of a meme, but So Tiberius' talents are all pretty bad. The bouncy blade one is alright. If there's a lot of small buildings, it might be useful in a couple of these side paths. But I don't like the explosive blade talent because you can't get your cooldown down on combat transfer quickly, and as I say, that's key. So they managed to push that, and it's now 3-1. So we need to cap or we lose. Pushing on the Lex, I managed to push him back. That's a really key kill. As I say, he's pretty good. And then for some reason, I feel the need to get on point. As I say, quite a few times I'm just exposing myself to fire unnecessarily. As a damage player, and particularly a backline damage, you pretty much always want to be using some sort of cover. In that case, Inara's wall. But at least the Inara wall does give us time to cap, particularly with catch up. And then I'm running away. Combat trance is down, so I'm just having a little dance with this Drogos so I can get it back and push on him. And I do manage to get this kill, yeah. But now I'm in a bit of a weird position. So we're falling back, trying to rejoin the team, and we push on here, but we just focus one way for too long and give Lex a freebie. So he just comes around and kills me off. I've been 2 paces further forward. I've had the buildings guarding my left hand side. He wouldn't have been able to get that angle, and I might have been alright. But while I've been down, most of the rest of the team is gone, healer's down. So we're just regrouping at the choke point, making sure we don't lose anyone else. And here it's a bit difficult to push, so they're pretty well pushed up, but then they start collapsing on the right hand side. So you'll see Victor gets a couple of kills, and then as he goes in on that side, another wasted combat chance. This range, I mean, what's the point? But hey, we'll improve on that. It does get better, I promise. Fortunately, Victor gets 3 down, and 4. He's just carrying us essentially, and that lets us push in. Inara is now isolated, so we can get her down. That just leaves the IO, but I figure I might as well pretend to be a tank and push the payload right. So at this point, their team's pretty scattered, pretty well staggered, but we know that the next big issue is going to be getting through the choke point. So, I mean, this Drogos just gets unlucky. When you're a flying character, you don't want to be in that tunnel. But here, I'm able to get an angle on them so that they can't retreat safely. You see the Ying tries to get safe because I've got this space. There's just no room for her. And then, because the healer's exposed, that's a good combat chance to get that filled quickly. And then I'm feeling pretty strong at this point, so I'm leaping in. Right, leap doesn't go great, but I can get this Drogos down. And then there's 3 of them, so that's not ideal. And before I can get back, we lose that point. It's progressing. We got closer. We capped, which is progress, let's be honest. And then Lex tries to push this side again. I think this is the last time he does that. Because, you charge at him and assert dominance. And now I'm taking on Drogos, and let's just gloss over that. Anyway, so we're coming back. We've managed to push them off the point at this stage. Feeling in control. Get Lex down while he's trying to ult. Not having that on my team. And they're not able to push, so we can just zone them out at this choke point. They don't really do anything too aggressive, just a bit of damage at range keeps them at bay. And then it gets a bit odd from here. And maybe I should have been pushing around that left hand side to pressure them from there. But while this wall's up, they start moving to the right. So I think Victor has pushed through that space I was last time. And so combat's kind of moving away, and I rush in to catch it up, which means I'm surrounded by all of their team. So if we just have another look at that moment, I've got 2 choices here. I can go round the left to get on their healers, or I can go round the right to rejoin my team. Going down the middle is the wrong option. So while I've been dead, our team's been pushed back, so we're regrouping on the chokehold again. I think the healer's just respawning at the moment, and pushing without one's pretty difficult. So again, I'm just putting out some damage, wasting a cooldown on combat trance, almost an exact replica of before. What isn't a replica of before is that our Victor's spotted that they're not really guarding the left-hand side, and so he is going for the ninja attack to overcome all ninja attacks. I mean, if he walks it in from here, they should just quit the game at that point. It's a bit difficult to know what you're supposed to do to support that. It's not in the standard Paladins tactics book. I decide that guarding his back is probably the best option. So I'm slowing down the chasers a bit. I mean, it was never going to work. Although, to be fair, as you can see when I'm respawning, he got 3/4 of the way there, which is probably the closest we've been to the enemy base in this game. But unfortunately couldn't walk it all the way in. And then, as I'm dueling with Lex, I figure I'll fall back to somewhere safe. That is not somewhere safe, and I don't even have time to get back in the game. So 3-3 deciding point. Let's be honest, no one thought we would get here when the way this one started. Left side is open because Lex decides taking me on isn't great, but that just means I get Ying for 3 instead. And then we're holding this left hand side. Drogoz is being annoying enough I throw a sword at the wall. But I have at least learned not to get knocked off by the fire spit again. And then one of our team calls that we need to get on point. Bit keen sings it's only at 60%, but that's why Nara comes flying back because there's a Torvald ultimate. And I get a sword kill, which I just love the way that feels. I'm not saying it's effective, but it's good. And they're outnumbered, so they're either consciously or unconsciously dying on point. Lex lines himself up, and I actually get a killing spree, and at this point they've got no chance to get back. Victor's getting dismounts from range, and they don't have time to get here, so that's the win. And during that point fight, we don't actually have a single death on our side. Seriously, go back and recheck, I didn't believe it either. So what are the takeaways from that? Pretty basic, to be honest. Don't waste your cooldowns, especially combat trance on Tiberius. It's what makes him good. Use some cover. Trust your tanks are going to get on point rather than you feeling like you need to go and die there yourself. And you can play better. You can turn around those 3-1s sometimes. So it's always worth sticking in there. Don't be that guy that AFKs. Everyone hates that guy. Catch you next time.